NCIS always looked like the perfect machine. It had the action, the wit, the chemistry, and a loyal fan base that stuck with it through decades of cases. But for those who followed closely, one thing kept breaking the illusion: the sudden, shocking departures of its stars. Characters who felt like family would vanish overnight, sometimes in violent storylines, sometimes with barely an explanation at all. Fans were left reeling, asking the same questions every time. Why? Was it their choice? Was it politics? Was it burnout? Or something darker? The truth is, every exit carried its own story. Some heartbreaking, some frustrating, some inspiring, and some that revealed the hidden cracks in Hollywood's polished surface. These were never just characters disappearing. They were real people, making impossible decisions, fighting battles far away from the cameras. And once you know the truth, it's impossible to look at the show the same way again. When NCIS began, Sasha Alexander's Caitlin Kate Todd was more than just another agent. She was balance. She softened Gibbs's gruffness. She kept DiNozzo's antics in check, and she anchored the team with intelligence and composure. Fans saw her as someone who would be there for the long run, until she wasn't. After only 2 seasons, Kate was brutally killed by a sniper's bullet in a moment that stunned millions. The loss wasn't just shocking, it felt cruel. But behind the scenes, Sasha Alexander was at her breaking point. The NCIS filming schedule was relentless. Grueling 17-hour days stretched across most of the year. Coming off other demanding projects, she simply couldn't do it anymore. It wasn't scandal. It wasn't ego. It was exhaustion. She asked to leave, honestly and quietly, and the producers respected her decision. But they also knew Kate couldn't just slip away. Her farewell had to be unforgettable, and so they crafted her shocking death scene. It was violent, devastating, and iconic, cementing her character in TV history. For fans, it was the first painful lesson that NCIS could take anyone at any time. Lauren Holly's Jenny Shepard entered the show with authority, instantly shaking up the team's dynamic. She wasn't just a boss, she had history with Gibbs, adding intrigue and tension. Originally intended for only a handful of episodes, the character became a staple because fans connected with her. But over time, Shepard's role grew stagnant. Week after week, she was stuck in the same office, giving the same orders. For Holly, who thrived on challenging material, it became uninspiring. And when showrunner Don Belisario left, the spark she once had for the role faded completely. She wasn't angry or bitter. She was just done. She left, calling the role boring, and the writers gave her a fittingly dramatic exit. Shepard went down fighting, killed in a hail of bullets. It was explosive, emotional, and unforgettable. But behind the curtain, it was simply an actress choosing growth over repetition. Cote de Pablo's Ziva David, on the other hand, left fans gutted. She wasn't just a replacement for Kate. She was something entirely new. Ziva was fierce, unpredictable, and deeply human. She carried pain, trauma, and resilience, and her chemistry with DiNozzo lit up the screen. She became the soul of the show. So when she vanished in season 11 with no build-up, fans were blindsided. Even the cast admitted they were caught off guard. At first, Cote kept quiet, calling it a personal decision. But later, she revealed the real reason: respect. She felt the writers were stripping away Ziva's complexity, reducing her to something flat and unworthy of the character she had built for 8 years. She walked away not because she wanted to, but because she refused to betray the integrity of the role. For viewers, her absence left a scar that never fully healed. The magic of Tony and Ziva, the slow burn, the spark, was broken, and though she returned briefly years later, it was never the same. Michael Weatherly's Tony DiNozzo was the show's heart and humor for over a decade. He cracked jokes, carried emotional weight, and made the team feel alive. But after 13 seasons and more than 300 episodes, Weatherly was worn out. It wasn't drama or scandal, it was simple fatigue. He felt DiNozzo's story had run its course. His exit was one of the gentlest in NCIS history. Tony discovered he had a daughter with Ziva and left to raise her. It was bittersweet, a farewell that honored the character's legacy. But Weatherly's career after NCIS was complicated. He starred in CBS's Bull, only to face controversy after actress Eliza Dushku accused him of inappropriate on-set behavior. CBS settled with her for millions, and though Weatherly apologized, his reputation took a hit. Even so, fans never stopped hoping he'd return to NCIS, dropping hints and holding on to dreams of a DiNozzo and Ziva reunion. Then came the most painful loss for many: Abby Sciuto. Pauley Perrette made Abby more than just a forensic scientist. She made her the heart of the show. With her gothic style, pigtails, and endless energy, Abby was beloved across generations. So when Perrette announced her departure after 15 years, fans were stunned. At first, it seemed like a natural end, but her cryptic social media posts soon revealed something darker. She wrote of multiple physical assaults and hinted she had been silenced. Reports linked her troubles to Mark Harmon, specifically an incident involving his dog biting a crew member and ongoing tensions afterward. Whatever the full truth, Perrette made it clear she no longer felt safe. Her final episodes gave Abby a heroic exit, but her parasol left behind in the lab felt symbolic of what she endured and what she left unsaid. Other exits were quieter, but still telling. Jennifer Esposito's Alex Quinn was introduced with promise, but disappeared almost as quickly, written out with a simple family excuse. Esposito later explained she always knew it was temporary. Dwayne Henry's Clayton Reeves was built up with plans, but after showrunner Gary Glasberg's sudden death, his future unraveled. Reeves was killed protecting Abby, leaving fans devastated. Emily Wickersham's Ellie Bishop, who grew into her own after years of skepticism, left suddenly too, this time by choice, to focus on motherhood. There was no bitterness, just a reminder that sometimes life matters more than fame. NCIS New Orleans added its own stories of exits. Shalita Grant's Sonia Percy left suddenly, amid rumors of behind-the-scenes conflicts she never confirmed. Zoe McClellan's Meredith Brody was written out after 2 seasons, but later reports revealed the ugly truth. CBS chief Les Moonves allegedly dismissed her for not being fuffable enough. It was a cruel, sexist abuse of power, and it marked one of the franchise's darkest scandals. In contrast, Lucas Black's Chris LaSalle left by choice. After 6 seasons, he decided to focus on his wife and children. His on-screen death was heartbreaking, but his reason was simple: family first. And then there was Miguel Ferrer. As Owen Granger on NCIS Los Angeles, he embodied quiet strength and authority. But off-screen, Ferrer was battling throat cancer. Rather than step away, he kept acting, folding his real struggle into Granger's story. Fans saw the pain, the rasp in his voice, the courage in his eyes. In 2017, Ferrer passed away, and the show honored him with a haunting tribute, featuring his own band performing "Knockin' on Heaven's Door." It was raw, heartbreaking, and unforgettable. His death wasn't just another exit, it was a reminder of the humanity behind the screen. Each departure told a different story. Sasha Alexander left because exhaustion consumed her. Lauren Holly left because monotony killed her passion. Cote de Pablo left because respect was taken from her. Michael Weatherly left because he was tired. Pauley Perrette left because safety was gone. Jennifer Esposito left because her role was never meant to last. Dwayne Henry left because his creative champion died. Emily Wickersham left because family came first. Shalita Grant left quietly, with questions unanswered. Zoe McClellan left because of abuse of power. Lucas Black left because he chose his loved ones over fame. Miguel Ferrer left because illness gave him no choice. Together, their stories revealed the truth behind NCIS, a show built on stability but carried by fragile human lives. For millions of viewers, it felt like home. But like every great story, the world behind the cameras was not always filled with joy and success. While audiences were enjoying the action, humor, and suspense of NCIS, the actors themselves were living very different stories, ones filled with heartbreak, shocking goodbyes, and tragedies that forever changed the show. These weren't just ordinary challenges. They were life-altering events that redefined careers, friendships, and even the future of the series itself. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into those tragedies, the painful departures, the shocking deaths, the personal battles that not only left fans in tears, but also left scars on the very heart of NCIS. By the end, you'll see why the show we all love has never truly been the same. Miguel Ferrer's battle with cancer. Let's start with a tragedy that stunned the entire NCIS community: the death of Miguel Ferrer. Known for his unforgettable role as Owen Granger on NCIS Los Angeles, Miguel wasn't just another actor. He was a powerhouse of talent, bringing wit, toughness, and heart to every scene. But behind the scenes, Miguel was fighting a battle few knew about. He was diagnosed with throat cancer, a disease that slowly weakened him even as he continued working. Fans who watched his later episodes noticed his voice had grown raspier and his appearance thinner. But Miguel refused to let the illness define him. He kept showing up, giving everything he had to his role. On January 19, 2017, at the age of 61, Miguel Ferrer passed away at his home, surrounded by loved ones. The cast of NCIS LA was devastated. In a moving tribute episode, they honored his memory, blurring the line between fiction and reality. For fans, the loss was more than just the death of a character. It was the end of an era. Miguel Ferrer's legacy lives on in the stories he helped tell, but his passing left a wound that time will never fully heal. Cote de Pablo's heartbreaking exit. Another moment that rocked NCIS to its core was the sudden departure of Cote de Pablo, the actress behind the iconic character Ziva David. When Ziva joined NCIS in Season 3, she was unlike any character fans had ever seen. Strong, mysterious, intelligent, and deeply human. Very quickly, she became a fan favorite, especially because of her chemistry with Michael Weatherly's Tony Dinozzo. Their relationship kept viewers invested for years. So, when news broke in 2013 that Cote de Pablo was leaving NCIS, fans were shocked. The tragedy wasn't a death, but it felt like one. Audiences mourned the loss of a character they loved dearly. Behind the scenes, Cote revealed that the scripts she was offered for Ziva's continuation didn't respect the character she had worked so hard to build. She couldn't compromise her principles, even if it meant walking away from one of television's biggest shows. For her, it was about protecting Ziva's integrity. Her departure created a massive void in the show. While Ziva eventually returned in a later storyline, the truth is, NCIS was never the same without her steady presence. fans still remember her exit as one of the most painful chapters in NCIS history. The death of Ralph Waite family has always been central to NCIS, and no character embodied that more than Jackson Gibbs, played by veteran actor Ralph Waite. As the father of Leroy Jethro Gibbs, Waite brought wisdom, warmth, and humanity to the show. Every time he appeared, fans saw a softer side of Gibbs, a reminder that even the toughest men carry deep emotional connections. But in February 2014, tragedy struck. Ralph Waite passed away at the age of 85. For many, this wasn't just the loss of an actor. It was the loss of a beloved father figure, both on screen and off. The NCIS team honored him with a heartfelt episode that mirrored real life. Gibbs grieved his father in the show, just as the cast and crew grieved the loss of Waite in reality. The emotion was raw, genuine, and unforgettable. It was one of those rare times where fiction and reality collided, leaving fans deeply moved. Paulie Perrette's disturbing departure. Few NCIS characters became as instantly iconic as Abby Ciuto, portrayed by Paulie Perrette. With her gothic look, quirky personality, and brilliant mind, Abby wasn't just a forensic scientist. She was the heart and soul of NCIS. Fans adored her for 15 seasons. But in 2018, Paulie Perrette left the show in a shocking and heartbreaking exit. At first, fans speculated it was just creative differences or a personal choice. But later, Paulie revealed disturbing details. She claimed she had endured a toxic work environment and even alleged physical assaults on set. These revelations painted a much darker picture of what was happening behind the scenes. For Paulie, leaving was about survival, about protecting her mental and physical health. For fans, losing Abby felt like losing a piece of the show's identity. While NCIS continued, it never truly recaptured the unique energy Abby brought to the team. Her departure is remembered as one of the most tragic behind-the-scenes stories in NCIS history. Michael Weatherly's departure and scandal. Tony DiNozzo was more than just comic relief. Played by Michael Weatherly, DiNozzo was charming, funny, and deeply beloved by fans. His on-screen chemistry with Cote de Pablo made their storyline one of the most compelling in the series. But after 13 seasons, Weatherly said goodbye to NCIS. His departure in 2015 left fans heartbroken. He explained that it was time to move on to new challenges, and soon after, he landed the lead role in Bull. Unfortunately, Weatherly's career took a dark turn when allegations of inappropriate behavior on the set of Bull came to light. Actress Eliza Dushku accused him of sexual harassment, leading to a high-profile settlement. While this scandal unfolded after his time on NCIS, it cast a shadow over his reputation. For NCIS fans, losing DiNozzo was already painful, but watching Weatherly's career become embroiled in controversy only deepened the tragedy. It was the end of one of television's most beloved characters, and it left fans longing for the magic that DiNozzo once brought to the show. Mark Harmon's quiet goodbye. Mark Harmon was the heartbeat of NCIS. As Leroy Jethro Gibbs, he wasn't just the leader of the team, he was the glue that held the entire series together. His calm authority, emotional depth, and unwavering sense of justice made Gibbs one of television's greatest characters. But in 2021, after 19 seasons, Harmon stepped away from NCIS. Fans were stunned. For nearly 2 decades, Harmon had been the face of the franchise. The reasons for his departure were layered. Officially, Harmon wanted to spend more time with his family and take a step back from the grueling demands of a lead role. But insiders also pointed to health concerns and the physical toll of years on set. Watching Gibbs say goodbye was emotional for everyone, fans, cast, and crew alike. While the show has continued, NCIS without Gibbs feels incomplete. His exit marked the end of an era, and for many, it was the hardest goodbye of all. David McCallum's personal grief. David McCallum, who played Dr. Donald "Ducky" Mallard, was one of the most respected members of the NCIS cast. With his warmth and wisdom, Ducky became a fan favorite. But off-screen, David faced personal tragedy that deeply affected him. In 1989, long before NCIS, David's son, Jason, died from a drug overdose at just 27 years old. The loss was devastating. McCallum later spoke about the pain of losing a child, saying it was an ache that never goes away. While fans never saw this pain on screen, those who knew him understood how much it shaped his life and perspective. This tragedy didn't directly impact the storyline of NCIS, but it revealed the humanity of the actor behind the character. For fans, learning about David's personal grief made his performances even more poignant. Sean Murray's health struggles. Sean Murray, who played Timothy McGee, has been part of NCIS since the very beginning. Fans watched him grow from a rookie agent into one of the core members of the team. But Sean has faced his own struggles off-screen. Over the years, fans noticed Sean's dramatic weight changes, sparking rumors and speculation about his health. Eventually, he explained that his transformation was due to lifestyle changes and a strict diet, not illness. Still, the scrutiny he faced highlighted the intense pressure actors endure while being in the public eye. Though not a tragedy in the same sense as others, Sean's health journey reflects the personal battles that cast members quietly fight while still showing up for their roles. The story of NCIS is not just about solving crimes or catching villains. It's also about the real people who brought those stories to life and the tragedies that shaped them. From the heartbreaking deaths of Miguel Ferrer and Ralph Waite to the painful exits of Paulie Perrette and Cote de Pablo, to the quiet struggles of Mark Harmon, David McCallum, and Sean Murray, the NCIS cast has endured more than most fans could ever imagine. These tragedies didn't just change the actors' lives, they changed the show itself. Each departure, each loss, each scandal left a permanent mark, altering the course of NCIS history. And yet, despite all these challenges, the series has endured. Perhaps that is the greatest testament to its cast and crew, and to keep honoring the legacies of those who came before.